The delighted builder then offered his services in providing a suitable crew for the vessel, but this Dante declined with many thanks, saying he was accustomed to cruise about quite alone, and his principal pleasure consisted in managing his yacht himself. The only thing the builder could oblige him in would be to contrive a sort of secret closet in the cabin at his bed's head, the closet to contain 3 divisions, so constructed as to be concealed from all but himself. The builder cheerfully undertook the commission, and promised to have these secret places completed by the next day, Dante furnishing the dimensions and plan in accordance with which they were to be constructed. 2 hours afterward, Dante sailed from the port of Genoa, under the inspection of an immense crowd drawn together by the curiosity to see the rich Spanish nobleman who preferred managing his own yacht. But their wonder was soon changed to admiration at seeing the perfect skill with which Dante handled the helm. The boat, indeed, seemed to be animated with almost human intelligence, so promptly did it obey the slightest touch. And Dante required but short trial of his beautiful craft to acknowledge that the Genoese had not without reason attained their high reputation in the art of shipbuilding. The spectators followed the little vessel with their eyes as long as it remained visible. Then they turned their conjectures upon the probable destination. Some insisted she was making for Corsica, others the island of Elba. Bets were offered to any amount that she was bound for Spain, while Africa was positively reported by many persons as her intended course. But no one thought of Monte Cristo. I don't know if Dumas is intending this, but there are a lot of these little touches bringing us back to those first couple chapters. You remember in chapter 1 or 2 when all of the spectators were in the port of Marseille watching the ships coming in? Now we have kind of an echo of that. I wouldn't say an inversion or a mirroring of it, but just another instance of it. But they are now looking at Dante, and it's almost like a marker of transformation. When we saw Dante before and everyone gawking at him, it was, his prowess on the ship, but he wasn't the owner. Now the gawking, he can kind of take ownership in. This is, you are admiring not just my skill for handling someone else's vessel. You can admire my skill and my wealth. I own this, and thus this is all part of my reputation or the mystique I am building around myself. It is kind of a presentation and a performance, where before Dante was just doing his job. So I don't know if Dumas is intending those echoes or if it is just kind of a narrative function, like, of course, this is where he would be now, and this is how it would transpire. Okay, I will admit I had to reread this passage a couple times because I got a little confused. And I don't think it's Dumas' fault exactly, but I kind of, maybe it's my 2025, being dumbed down by 100 years of mainstream consumer, narrative, but I felt like I need a little bit more hand-holding to fully grasp what's going on here. Because this sentiment here of, what's it say? 2 hours afterward, Dante sailed from the port of Genoa under the inspection of an immense crowd drawn together by curiosity to see the rich Spanish nobleman who preferred managing his own yacht. And I was like, isn't Dante French? This is where I had to check myself, because I think people of the time might have picked up on more subtle cues that Dumas has laid out in the last handful of pages here. But the fact that Dante is essentially posing as a Spanish nobleman, even though he's French, to me, I didn't get the tip of the hand that he was intending to do that. Like, there's no action or description describing Dante's intention to take on the mantle of a Spanish nobleman. So it stopped me for a second, and I had to backtrack and reread that a few times. But also, this is one of the first. Well, I shouldn't say one of the first. The crew of La Jeune Amélie was the first of him assuming a different disguise in order to do something and kick up dust around his intentions. Now it seems he's taking on the guise of a Spanish nobleman in order to manage his own yacht and take off from this port. So Dante is becoming, oh my God, what's the saint? He's becoming a man of multiple identities. We've got the Maltese, that he is. For La Jeune Amélie, we've got the Spanish nobleman here in Genoa buying the yacht. Honestly, we've got him as the young Frenchman who was imprisoned at the beginning of the story. We got him as the prisoner in the dungeons. So this is kind of the fourth iteration of Dante, but now the disguises are less transformative than they are performative. He is now putting on different identities with intention. So that's an interesting development, and one that I suppose will continue forward in the story. Otherwise, why introduce it? So I guess we'll see if he puts on any more disguises. I wonder if he's going to get a fake mustache as we continue with Chapter 25. So join me here tomorrow, folks. Thank you. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.